I talked to Dr. Herster this morning about 11 and reminded him of the time, and he had forgotten, but he knows it, so he should be coming on. I just had a text from Dr. Herster, said he's signing in, but his computer is being slow to load it. So hopefully in a couple of minutes.
Have you reached out to David Wellman, Bob?
I did not. I will.
I'll send him a quick text.
Good.
Picked a whole bunch of sandburrs out of these two books. Yes. Good afternoon, Tim.
He's muted.
Okay.
Sorry, how are you? Good to see you guys.
Good. Good afternoon.
I'll be right back. I have to jerry rig a styrofoam cup to be able to put a power cord to my phones so I don't lose juice here. Be right back.
Duct tape is wonderful.
I just talked to David. He is about to log on.
All right, great.
Bob Wallace,
Yes, sir.
this is Charles.
Yes, sir.
I have the minutes from our last meeting on my screen in front of me, but I'm not finding that I sent it to anybody but you and Pat. So I may have not sent it to the board. I thought I did, but I can't find that I did.
Well, you're not fired for sure. Definitely. Would you, we'll get on that, but we'll just review that for the next meeting.
Well, I did send it just a few minutes ago, but it may be too late for everybody to call up.
I just got my copy.
I don't know if I can operate 2 devices at one time. I'll see. Oy.
I don't see Bob Schaefer.
I did a while ago. There he is.
So there he is. He just came up.
He's muted.
Yeah, there he is. He replaced Tim.
I'm here.
I think Dr. David
Wait.
is coming down here to the bank to watch. Or
Okay.
I didn't know if you were on the phone.
So are we just waiting on Dr. Herster? Is that correct?
And David Willman.
Oh, David Willman is on.
Okay, he's not showing up on mine.
David Willman, do you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, there he is.
David just called, and said he couldn't get his going, so he was gonna come by here, so, but hadn't made it yet.
I believe I'm going to start the meeting, and we've got a few kind of routine things to go through till we get to the agenda. And so I have 1:13 p.m. and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Let's do a roll call. I'm going to just start as I see. David Woman, are you here?
Okay.
I'm sorry, Charles?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Pat?
Here, present.
Jay? Jay Ward?
He's speaking, but I can't hear him. I can see him, but I can't.
I got a wave. Okay. And Bob? Are you here?
He was.
Yeah, I did see him a moment ago. And Dr. Herster, welcome. We'll see you now.
thank you.
So Bob is in and out, but we'll acknowledge him when he comes. So we have for sure a
Yes, sir,
quorum.
I'm here.
Okay, good. So all are in attendance, and we have a quorum. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
It's Charles. I'll move adoption of the agenda.
Second?
Second, David Willman.
Second.
Okay, great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We adopt the agenda before us. This is as published. The approval for the minutes of the board meeting, I've reviewed those now. Some of us did not get copies too quick, but I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes as presented in of record.
So made, so moved.
Okay, any discussion, any questions, corrections, or amendments? Then in that case, all in favor, let me hear an aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, none, motion carries. So the minutes of the board meeting of June 16th are herein accepted. Item number 5 is recognition of visitors for public comment. Charles, I believe you say that no one has.
There was no one on the website that filled out the forms and requested to speak.
Okay, well, we have a number of visitors that are logged in, which of course is fine, but we have no noted visitors for public comment for this meeting. Number 6 is reports, and I don't believe the treasurer has a report, nor do I as the president. We'll just kind of jump into the agenda. Item number 7, old business, is an update on the EMS ambulance interviews and facilities. I'm going to make a lead-off presentation of that and invite, that was a committee made up of Pat and Bob and myself. And we interviewed together 4 firms over the last 6 or 8 weeks, and then made a tour of the facilities. So we'll be formulating recommendations to the county commission this week and next as to our findings. But I can just basically say we have met with 4 different firms. We've asked questions about how they would operate if we have an emergency hospital or didn't. We've gotten comments about that. We've gotten comments about their equipment, their training, their staffing. And of course, we know Baylor Scott very well. We've toured the facilities, the existing locations, the 3 locations, and we'll be ready to formulate our opinions. And I believe that the county commission, I anticipate, would be prepared to seek proposals, probably starting September. That's just my personal guess. That's up to them. That actual award of the service after this December 31st is up to the county commission, not this board. Bob, do you have any comments, or Pat, do you have any comments? We'd like to share observations about the EMS interviews.
I don't.
I think that we just thoroughly did due diligence on all of them, asked all the pertinent questions, and evaluated and investigated them just to the most of our ability, and it's complete due diligence on our part.
I feel the same, and I would agree. So I think that concludes the whole business update on EMS ambulance service. So we'll move on to item number 8, new business. A state of critical access hospital certification. That is going to be presented largely by Pat, who has been handling that, and anyone else as he calls for. So Pat, would you start that topic off, please?
Okay. I want to give David Willman's done just as much work as I have on this, so let's give David credit too. I'm going to back up and just touch very briefly on what this is and how it works, because we've got some new participants on the meeting. So CMS, which is Centers for Medicaid or Medicare Medicaid Services, has 2 methods of reimbursing for healthcare. The one we are under now is called PPS, which stands for Prospective Payment Systems. The reimbursement in that system is based on a fixed amount. It's basically a schedule or a listing based on diagnosis. So if you have a particular issue, healthcare issue, that the healthcare provider can go to, the biller can go to a schedule and look at what that is and calculate what the reimbursement will be. The one that we're trying to get is called Critical Access Hospital, CAH. And that one's based on actual cost. It's actually 1% above cost. It's 101% of your cost. So we're making our application soon. I think it'll be in the next couple of weeks. And we expect a response from CMS near the end of this year or early in the next year, maybe in the first quarter. And that's really all. That's all I've got right now.
And David, any further comments to add to that?
No, I think that pretty well summarized it. We're seeking support from our legislators on the state and the national level, and having some success with that, and moving forward with the application.
Well, I may just add on the side for general comment is that it is relatively difficult to obtain, but we get very close to the parameters that they schedule. That's for their interpretation of that. And bottom line is that if the Llano Hospital and operator were able to obtain that, it would increase the revenues to the hospital substantially. Complicated, but it would increase the revenues, decrease the cost. So that's why it would be important if Llano can obtain it.
Bob, David
Yes.
Hersher here. To be clear, it's my understanding that the application has to be submitted by the current operator of the hospital, that is Baylor Scott and White. Is that correct?
That is correct, and they have been cooperating with us and met with Congressman Conaway last week, a week before, and are assisting in that effort.
Okay.
Actually, I
so-
don't think that my understanding of that's a little different. My understanding is that the people that we're working with, the consultant that we're working with, has actually submitted several of these before, and he plans to submit this one as well with data from the I forget what the system's called, but Baylor Scott and White has a data system that Brent is going to pull some information from, and they're Baylor Scott and White and Brent Fuller are working together on that right now.
So if Baylor Scott and White submitted the application, but on January 1st, they pull out, the application has already been submitted, can the hospital authority could continue that application process through once it's been started by Baylor Scott and White? What would happen at that moment?
Yes. Yeah, there's I think it's called a 588A form. It's a transfer form that can be accomplished either during the application process, or if we got the designation and then Baylor Scott and White elected not to continue, we could still submit it at that point too. So there's a way to work around that. That's a good question, and we've explored that.
Thank you.
It is complicated, but we've got a good team chasing it down, I believe. Okay, the other new business is worded as notice of non-renewal of Llano Hospital lease effective December 31st, 2020. And I have a prepared statement to read on that. On July 14th, Mr. Timothy Oles, president of Baylor Scott White Hill Country, formally notified Llano County of their decision not to continue operations of the hospital and emergency room past the expiration of the first term of their lease. That lease was originally executed effective January 1st, 2010, and had an option for renewal if Baylor Scott White notified before June 30th, 2020. That lease required no financial support from Llano County. Baylor Scott White has been working closely with this board all year in efforts to bring up options for continuation. At the same time, this board has been exploring other hospitals for their interest in replacing Baylor Scott White. No doubt that the current national COVID-19 crisis has severely stressed all hospitals' interest and the ability to expand. Without substantial increase of funding from the county, our hospital will have to close this December 31st, 2020. It is our hope that in the future, we may be able to reopen or even rebuild a hospital serving the needs of Llano. The Baylor Scott White Clinic is unaffected and is under separate lease between the doctors and Baylor Scott White. That lease, however, expires the same time as the hospital. The Baylor Scott White Rehab is also not affected by lease of the hospital nor clinic. The EMS service contract also expires December 31st with the hospital, along with the hospital. 4 EMS firms have been interviewed in May and June and have expressed interest in submitting formal proposals to the county. Baylor Scott White is included. And that includes my statement. From the board members, any discussion? Okay. If not, let me see here. Number 9 is the board makes it its discretion adjourn into executive session to deliberate any matter, and this will be under section 551.071 and 551.072. So I'd like to adjourn probably briefly into executive session, and then we'll come back and discuss any action that we have proposed. So Jennifer, for your help,
Yes, sir. Give me one moment.
we'll give you more than that. Jennifer,
Yes, sir.
can we, if he's still available, invite Judge Cunningham? He is part of this that's related if he is available.
Yes, sir. What can I say? Can you hear me?
Yes, let's just verify that we're on executive session yet.
Bear with me just a second. You're not yet.
Okay,
You need me to, I'm a guest. You need for me to check out?
No,
Who's that?
just bear with me
Or
one
can you-
second.
Okay.
Okay, so I have Bob Wallace, C's iPad, David's iPad, Jay, Pat McDowell, and Robert's iPhone, correct?
It looks
Anybody
like
else?
Dr. Reed's still on. Maybe.
Okay, bear with me though. I'm about to send y'all to a room. I'm sending you,
No,
Okay.
You'll see his picture.
okay? Bob, I'm sending the group, your group, to a room and leave
okay,
the others open. And when you're done, you just click to return back to the meeting, okay?
okay, we'll do that. And you do have the judge coming in?
Yes.
He's on.
Yes. And they will come back to the meeting once they're done. Okay? If I had music, I would play music, but I don't. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm sure we're all much more relaxed than we would be if we were in a physical room with you.
I've spent a lot of time listening to music while on hold and don't appreciate it very much. I'm just as happy the way we are.
Hey, Jimmy, can you hear?
Ms. Rashke, they are in executive meeting right now, so we're just waiting until they return. Did you hear me, Ms. Rashke?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay.
I just
Thank
wanted to let you know, that's why we're kind of
Okay.
hanging out until they come back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
I have, we finished our executive session
Yes, sir.
and I've left the, did you go in there and ask them to, or help them out?
I already did. They're coming.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I show everybody's back.
Okay. Does anyone, we've lost Bob Wallace due to technical issues, I'm sure. Does anyone have any discussion or action items based on the executive session that we just concluded? Okay. Charles, we've got, I believe you mentioned August 18th is the next message or the next meeting.
That's the third Tuesday of the month, which is our regular date.
Are we going to go back to the 3 o'clock?
What'd you say? 18th.
I would think so, yes.
3 o'clock, and we'll stay with the Zoom unless I think our trends are going the wrong way to even talk about an in-person meeting at this point. Anybody have any recommended agenda items for the next meeting that you'd like to discuss at this point? If you don't have any now, would you please get with Charles or me or Bob?
Very good.
Anything else?
I will move for adjournment if there's nothing else.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. The meeting's now adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for the hospitality. Appreciate it.